Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another indie comic review, and for this indie comic review I'll be covering Rocketfellers by Peter J. Tomasi, and I must admit I have really looked forward to this coming out, and it's really nice to be around to actually review it, and hopefully I'll still continue to be around with the further issues that come out with this series. So, starting off with first things first, do these covers in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Sure enough they do, to which one actually is sort of like a caption or a page, or connected to a page inside the story, to which we learn that the Rockefellers end up going for a bit of a time zone, of course, and it takes them like to a certain place in history, which I think is really clever. The next is the second cover, to which we actually get to see the character of the villain. I did ask to get sort of like as many variant covers as possible through my LCS, but of course sometimes your LCS aren't able to get all the covers that you want, so you're basically stuck with what you got. But that's alright. I definitely enjoy both the covers, to which I give the first cover on the left hand side an 8 out of 10, and the second cover on the right hand side an 8 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the internal art, as we have a look around the beginning, middle and of course the end, and also what is happening story wise with the characters. I'll now get things ready. I'll use the variant cover, which is on the right hand side, to show some of the art around the beginning, middle and of course the end. So this is some of the art around the beginning of the story, to which we get to meet all of the Rockefellers, and as we can see here, we have Old Man Damien returning back again as one of the Rockefellers. But of course we know it's not him, but we do actually learn the names of the Rockefellers, and they all start, and all of their names start with R. So we've got Richie, Rachel, Rodney, Rose, Roland, Rex, the dog, and Reggie. So that's our cast of characters, but we don't quite get to learn the name of the villain yet, and I'm just hoping the villain's name doesn't start with an R. So moving a little bit further into the story around the beginning, and we see that the family are working to getting to a certain time zone because of where things are happening, where they presently live, which is the 25th century. They need to sort of like go back to a certain year. We do learn what year that is once we go further in the story, and this is where we start to meet someone connected to the villain that is up against them and looking to stop them as they try to prevent the Rockefellers from doing what they're trying to do. Slowly approaching somewhat what would be the middle of the story, we finally catch up with the Rockefellers in the year 2024, which is the present day, and we get to see the whole family together. And I must admit, I really do like this picture of the family together, and that's why I chose to use it as the thumbnail. Absolutely gorgeous. And of course we get to see some of the things happening around the house and the family and the friends that are making their appearances, surely no doubt. None of the friends also have names with R, but who knows, it might actually be something that I guess maybe a bit of an inside joke with the story. We also learned that one of the members of the family, Richie, has lost his holophone, so we know that he's been guilty of doing something sneaky of sorts with the holophone from the 24th century. In some ways, this sort of reminds me, what if the Jetsons were sent back to the past? What would they have to do to adapt to the situation? And last but not least, a bit of a skip towards the end, at which we have a bit of a connection to which is something connected to the main story. So we have a look at this a strange species of thing that the Rocketfellers are looking at. And I think this might be connected to the villain that is connected in the future by the way that this is coming across. And if anything, this family is coming back to the past to stop this villainous species or villain type thing species that has infected their future. And of course, I do like the look for the upcoming cover, and I really hope things are really well presented in the next part of the story. This is the next thing that I am looking forward to reviewing, and that is Hornsby and Halo, also by Peter J. Tomasi, and it's also added to my list. And I'm really looking forward to actually reviewing more Peter J. Tomasi because I've really missed his writing in DC Comics. At least I can find it through Image Comics. So for the internal art, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Considering how things will go consistency-wise with the art, if it continues to be consistent, like with the first issue, second issue, third issue, that quite likely will rise from 7.5 to maybe an 8. Next is the area of the story. So with this story, it is broken down into 3 parts. First is the area of time, to which we learn that the Rocketfellers are from the 25th century, to which they go back to the year 2024, which would be our year, the present. Next is the location, to which we learn of the time, an area called the time zone. And of course, Olympia, Washington. So we know that when the family do turn up in the present day, they are in the area of Washington or in the USA. And of course, last but not least, the cast of characters, which consists of Richie, Rachel Rodney, Rose, Roland, Rex, their dog, and last but not least, Reggie. For the overall rating, I give it an 8 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colorful and have yourself an awesome day.